canceled, there's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent, there's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors, let me help you with some. Yeah, y'all can't cancel me. My life is scandal free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses cause the brand is me. My hands are clean, my family and my fans agree. Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I am not playing it safe, I said what I said, it is what it is.
I don't care if you mad at me, okay? Go ahead and change the channel. Don't waste your time trying to cancel me, okay? They love me cause they know that I'm it. Say what you want, I guess it is what it is. Haters can talk, but they can't cancel the kid. Go ahead and go on, try and say this is it.
Aaron Tuttle here. It's storm season in Oklahoma, and with that comes torrential rain, high winds, and hail. To protect your home and your family from these threats, the one roofing company you should trust is Ferguson Roof Systems. They've been providing the best in roofing services for nearly half a century. Ferguson is Oklahoma's full-service roofing company, certified with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and a 5-star rating on Google. And with Ferguson now offering Class 4 impact-resistant shingles, now is the time to trust them with your home's roof. Get started today at FergusonRoofSystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle with you. It is Friday. It's about 12:45. We're going to give you an update on what you can expect here for your weekend to see if you have to cancel any plans and see how you can work around the rain that will occur. I know there are some graduations out there that's been going on for this week and weekend, and of course we've got Memorial Day weekend coming up as well, so you know, it's a busy, active stretch, usually vacations and that kind of deal. So thanks for joining me. This will be a relatively quick one because I got some things to do. But thanks for joining me on both YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitter Live. And as always, thank you for the following, sharing, liking, commenting, all that kind of stuff. And for the Facebook stars and YouTube Super Chat and everything else. So let's get on with the program. First off, clouds out there once again. It seems like you can't shake them. Every now and then we'll get some sun, but my goodness, they just keep sticking around, right? Well, at least we don't have the severe weather aspect with it. So let's take a look here at your overall outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And it does keep us, let's see, minimize this one more time. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. There, okay, wrong button. I'll get it there eventually. All right, so here's Friday. Right here, so the severe weather risk is way up here, not even anywhere near Oklahoma. Out on Saturday, it's in basically New Mexico and Colorado. On Sunday, it's up here in the northern plains, again, nowhere near Oklahoma. Then after that, the basically predictability is too low. So in other words, they're just not expecting much in the way of severe weather. So with that in mind, what do we have to work with? Well, we've got rainfall. And if we do look at the last 5 days, the biggest threat this week was some potential flash flooding. And if you look here at the graphic, most of this was beneficial rainfall. We did have some isolated spots of some flooding. Some of those low-lying areas that typically do flood, but for the most part it was 1 to 2 inches widespread rain. And then we had pockets of 3, 4, 5, 6, and out here in southeast Oklahoma, a little red down there, 8 around Poto, McCurtain, all that kind of stuff. You guys have around 8 inches of rainfall in some areas. So that's a lot of flash flooding to deal with down there in southeast Oklahoma. So that's too much rain over a short period of time. Now, what is the pattern that we're going to be in for additional showers and storms? Let's take a look here at the jet stream pattern. I'll show you there has been a little bit of a change, and I've talked about how the models haven't settled down long term yet. They've been kind of going back and forth. Well, initially, we have this upper level low out here in the western part of the country. We have a ridge out here in the east, and we're in the old squeeze play, moisture bandwagon, okay? We also have, believe it or not, a tropical disturbance down here in the Gulf. You believe that? So this is actually an early kind of start to the hurricane season with some active storm systems out there. And this one, yes, it's going to be working in that little pathway right into Texas. Some more flooding potential down there, and the residual of this moisture streaming northward back into Oklahoma as we head into our weekend. So that's a look at how the overall picture is shaping up for the upper levels of the atmosphere, which drives what happens down here where we live and breathe. As I go into Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, That little disturbance, what's left of it is right here over the I-35 corridor, that red area. It indicates lift in the atmosphere, so that's where we're going to probably our best rain is during the daytime on Saturday. I'll show you that. Otherwise, all the energy out to the western part of the country will lift up to the north and kind of bypass us. We still have that residual trail of moisture and instability, though, across Oklahoma as we head through the weekend into early next week, with little disturbances that'll kind of rotate through from there. And then as we head into next week, this is Tuesday and Wednesday, we start to get a pattern change where the jet stream is going southwest to northeast, and then eventually it's going to kind of go more zonal, which is west to east, and then eventually more northwest to southeast. So it's a little bit of a transitionary period. Now, the older data had a ridge of high pressure building in across Texas that was really going to quiet things down for us. That ridge tries to get going, but it's been pushed farther south into Mexico and far south Texas. So that allows this little instability axis to ride right over Oklahoma. So as we head into Memorial Day weekend, we are going to have, looks like, a few showers and thunderstorms around. Severe weather, may not be on the docket so much as far as magnitude goes, but that time of the year you usually see at least, some good thunderstorms, your typical hail and wind at some location. As we go from past that point on to the rest of the weekend, there's Sunday. Pattern starts to go more of a northwesterly flow as a ridge develops out to the west, so we can still get some clusters of complexes that come down in that flow as well. So it's going to be one of those, kind of like this week. It's frustrating because it's not going to be a simple, okay, rain on this 6-hour window on Friday and then another round on Tuesday between this window of time and this window of time. It just, unfortunately, it's not that kind of a pattern. It's more of just this annoying pop-up stuff, and you just got to track it day by day. But here's a look at the overall pattern in the atmosphere when you look at the rainfall production out of us across the country, just to show you where, if you are doing some traveling here this weekend or even early next week, you can see how the active weather is still kind of anchored here over the central plains. Otherwise, it's not a lot. I mean, it's fairly quiet. So those complexes right there, there's one for Wednesday of next week. As we head into, let's see, there's Thursday of next week right there across the central plains. We do get a little bit of action here in Oklahoma again. And there's Friday, so there are some storm signals around here for these little clusters, little squall lines or MCSs that come through. So those can be some damaging winds and hail with them at times. Let's see, as we head into Saturday and Sunday weekend, still looks fairly quiet, but there's little storm signals around. Very tiny, very transient. So, I don't think it'll be a washout at all for Memorial Day weekend, but we are going to have to deal with at least a few storms around, which is usually what we do deal with. Now, in the short term, I want to show you how the moisture is confined out across Arkansas today and eastern Oklahoma, and then it kind of builds slowly into parts of central Oklahoma. We'll call it the I-35 corridor. If you live plus or minus along that boundary by, let's say 50 miles, you're going to be in a little bit of a scattered shower rain zone here for today out to the east, but it's during the daylight hours. We head into the evening, things diminish and quiet down overnight. There's still a little bit of a signal for some light showers overnight, but most of this is a daytime signal. So here's Saturday morning. You can see how it bubbles up down into Texas as well. And then by Saturday evening, it quiets down again. And then so we head into Sunday, it kind of shifts out in western Oklahoma with some light shower activity, and you'll probably get a few rumbles of thunder within that. Here's a close-up view of how that'll look here across Oklahoma and the timeline associated with that. So let's put this into motion, and you can get those little weak thunderstorms out there in eastern Oklahoma and some scattered showers we talked about for the eastern half of the state here for today. Here's 7 o'clock in the evening. See how things are pretty quiet. So for any outdoor activities here, for graduation or other ceremonies, things are fairly decent weather-wise into the evening hours. And then there are, again, a couple of little pop-up showers showing up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning as the next wave starts to move in. They start to get going, though, after sunrise, and then there's your corridor of scattered activity here over I-35 corridor this time around. So that'll be the focus on Saturday, where the most of the rain will reside. There'll still be some west in Oklahoma and still some east during the afternoon, but not nearly as much. And then as we head into Saturday evening, a couple little showers showing up here in central Oklahoma. There's 9 o'clock, but I mean, you can see it's a fairly dry pattern. Should just be very unlucky if you get one of these little pop-up showers that linger. Otherwise, overnight, fairly quiet, a couple of showers out west, and then we'll kind of repeat the performance on Sunday, but this time around, probably more centered from central to western Oklahoma, but a lot less in coverage. We look at the total rainfall amounts for this whole thing. The heaviest rain will be coming during the day on Saturday, and that's coming right along the I-35 corridor here that runs north and south. So rainfall amounts could exceed 2 inches of rain. All it takes is a train where you've got the same beeline of clusters of weak thunderstorms that keep going over the same areas, and that's how you get this type of a rain pattern. And so that could lead to some flash flooding briefly, so make sure you keep that in mind. Otherwise, you can see some scattered showers out west and east will generate anywhere from, it can be feast or famine. It can be from nothing to, in the green you're looking at a 1/4 inch of rain, till you get to the blue you're about 1/2 inch. When you're in the red you're over 2 inches of rain. So that's kind of the way the pattern is going to be here for this weekend. Temperatures also are still going to be just like they have been. So we're looking at the 70s primarily for daytime highs. If you can get any decent amount of sun for any length of time, you can briefly hit the low 80s. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck in the 70s. Obviously, it's a little on the humid side. And you can see those overnight lows went from the low 60s now to the mid 60s. So if you've noticed your Bermuda graphs all of a sudden loving life, well, that's the reason. And then as we head into next week, daytime highs stay in the 80s, looks like, for the most part. You do see a signal of a little bit of a drop off on those temperatures for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And that's just because the increase in cloud cover and a little bit of that rain that's around, which kind of helped temper the warm up just a little bit. So that's kind of what I got here for you for today. So hope that was helpful for you on your planning. So Ron says, rain on Memorial Day weekend? No way. I know, right? Yeah. So if you're going to do some camping, if you're going to do some outdoor plans, this is my advice to you. It's primarily during the daylight hours, okay? So very little rain signal at all, either evening or overnight. It's mostly from daybreak to sunset. So in between that, just work around it. Have a backup plan. Somewhere you can go indoors if you need to for a little while. Unless you're underneath, like on Saturday, that little corridor of just the heavy train of storms, you won't see that much off and on throughout the day. Use my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. It's got a radar on there that you can animate. You can see where they're going. It has little arrows on there which tells you what's in the thunderstorm, if it's got hail or wind and the direction and speed. It'll even give you a storm track for time of arrival to really help you plan out, so make sure you use that. Also my website, Untitled Weather, same type of functionality. There's a radar page on that, very similar to my weather app, which will give you a lot of information there you can utilize. And I think that's going to be about it for me. So listen, you guys have a great weekend. Don't play too hard. and try to stay dry. And we'll talk again soon. Thanks again for watching. Take care.